What if the pain you're fighting is not your enemy? What if the heaviness in your chest, the tightness in your throat, the thoughts that circle your mind late at night were never trying to destroy you? What if they were only asking one thing: to be seen? Pause for a moment. Let that question settle, because most of your life you were taught to do the opposite: to distract, to suppress, to stay strong, to move on quickly. You learned to smile when something inside you was breaking, to call it overthinking, to label it weakness, to drown it out with noise, productivity, validation, or control. But pain does not disappear when you ignore it. It waits, and the longer it waits, the louder it becomes. Maybe that's why your mind feels like a storm lately. Thoughts crashing into thoughts, regret colliding with fear, memories resurfacing when you least expect them. You tell yourself, "I should be past this by now." You ask, "What's wrong with me?" But nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are not weak. You are simply human, standing in the middle of a storm you never learned how to listen to. The mind, when left unattended, becomes a battlefield. Every thought demands your attention. Every emotion fights to justify itself. And so you tighten your grip. You try to control your feelings. You try to outthink your pain. You try to manage your inner world like a problem that needs fixing. But emotional pain is not a problem. It is a message, and messages don't stop knocking until the door is opened. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. For the first time, don't try to escape what you feel. Just notice. Notice how the body carries stories the mind avoids. Notice how tension lives in the shoulders, how grief hides in the breath, how old fear settles quietly in the chest. This pain did not appear to punish you. It appeared because something within you has been ignored for too long, and it's tired of being invisible. You see, pain is not chaos by nature. Resistance is. When you resist what you feel, you turn a whisper into a scream. When you judge your emotions, you deepen the wound. But when you listen, when you truly listen, something unexpected happens. The storm begins to reveal its purpose. Imagine the sky. No matter how violent the weather becomes, thunder, lightning, heavy rain, the sky itself is never harmed. It remains open, unbroken, spacious. Your true self is the sky. Your thoughts are clouds. Your emotions are weather patterns. Temporary, passing. But when you forget you are the sky, you believe you are the storm. And so you brace yourself. You contract. You fight. That fight is what exhausts you. Not the pain itself, but the constant effort to outrun it. Close your eyes for a moment. Let the world soften. Feel the weight of your body where you are sitting. Feel the ground supporting you without effort. Now gently ask yourself, without trying to answer, what am I afraid to feel right now? Don't analyze. Don't search. Just notice what arises. Maybe it's sadness. Maybe anger. Maybe emptiness. Maybe something without a name. Whatever it is, let it be here. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to justify it. Just allow it to exist, the way the sky allows a storm. This is where healing begins, not in force, not in control, but in presence. Most people never reach this point. They spend their lives running from their inner world, wondering why peace always feels just out of reach. But peace does not come from eliminating pain. It comes from meeting it. Your emotional pain is not trying to break you. It's trying to introduce you to a part of yourself that has been waiting patiently to be acknowledged.
And once it is seen, it no longer needs to shout. Music deepens slightly, steady and calm. In the next part of this journey, we will explore why the ego fears emotional pain and how control, though it feels protective, often becomes the very thing that keeps you trapped. For now, stay here, breathe, and remember, you are not the storm. You are the space that holds it.
There is a reason you learned to turn away from pain. Not because you are weak, but because something in you believes pain is dangerous. That something is the ego. The ego is not evil. It is not the enemy. It was born as a protector. Its job has always been survival, to keep you safe, to maintain control, to build an identity that can navigate the world without falling apart. And emotional pain terrifies it, because pain dissolves illusions. Pain does not respect the stories you tell yourself. It does not care who you think you should be. It moves through you like fire, burning false certainty, melting rigid identities, exposing what is real. The ego wants structure. Pain brings fluidity. The ego wants answers. Pain asks questions. The ego wants to know. Pain invites you to feel. And feeling means letting go of control. So the ego steps in. It names your pain. It analyzes it. It compares it. It says others have it worse. It says you shouldn't feel this way. It says just be positive. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it doesn't trust the unknown. To the ego, emotional pain feels like falling without a net. But what the ego doesn't understand is that pain is not a void. It is intelligence. Every emotion carries information. Every ache holds a story. Every uncomfortable sensation points to something unresolved. Yet the ego is impatient. It wants relief now. It wants clarity now. It wants certainty now. So it distracts you. Endless thinking, scrolling, busyness, achievement, validation, anything to avoid stillness. Because stillness is where pain speaks. And in silence, the ego loses its voice. Think about the moments when pain rises the strongest. Late at night, in the quiet, when distractions fade. That's not coincidence. That's because your deeper self finally has space to speak. And what does it say? Not words, but sensations. A heaviness, a tightness, a pressure behind the eyes, a hollow feeling in the chest. The body remembers what the mind avoids. You may have forgotten the moment you learned not to cry, but your nervous system didn't. You may have moved on from the rejection, the loss, the abandonment, but your body still holds the echo. Pain is not stuck in the past, it is stuck in the unfelt. And the ego, uncomfortable with vulnerability, labels this as weakness. But vulnerability is not collapse. It is openness. And openness is the doorway to freedom. Close your eyes again. This time, place one hand gently on your chest. Feel the warmth. Feel the rhythm beneath your palm. Ask quietly, what am I protecting myself from right now? You might notice resistance, a tightening, a desire to stop. That's okay. That resistance is not failure. It is fear asking for compassion. Let the breath soften the edges. Inhale slowly. Exhale even slower. Notice how the mind tries to interfere. It may say, "This is uncomfortable," or "This won't help." Let those thoughts pass like clouds. You are not here to convince the mind. You are here to listen beneath it.
The ego believes healing means becoming invulnerable, but true healing means becoming available. Available to your own experience. Available to the truth of this moment. Pain only feels unbearable when you believe you must face it alone. But awareness is never alone. Awareness holds everything, without judgment, without urgency, without fear. And when awareness meets pain, something shifts. Not instantly, not dramatically, but gently. The pain no longer needs to perform. It no longer needs to scream to be noticed. It begins to soften because it has finally been heard. The ego resists this because it loses control, but what it gains is peace. Not the peace of avoidance, but the peace of honesty. You are not here to erase your pain. You are here to integrate it, to let it teach you where you abandoned yourself, where you closed your heart, where you learned to survive instead of feel. And in that learning, something profound happens. You stop fighting yourself. And when the inner war ends, energy returns, clarity returns, life begins to flow again. In the next part of this journey, we will step deeper into the art of sitting with emotional pain without drowning in it, and how presence transforms suffering into understanding. For now, rest here, breathe, and remember, pain is not here to take something from you. It is here to give you back to yourself.
There is a moment in every healing journey when escape is no longer an option. You've tried distraction, you've tried understanding, you've tried control, and still the pain returns. This is the moment most people turn back. But this moment is not a failure. It is an invitation. Because emotional pain does not ask you to solve it. It asks you to stay. Most suffering does not come from pain itself, but from the belief that pain should not be here. Notice how quickly the mind reacts when discomfort appears. It tightens, it contracts. It says, "I need this to stop." That reaction is the real fire. Pain is just sensation. Resistance is what turns sensation into suffering. Imagine holding your hand over a flame. The pain is immediate, intense, but honest. It tells you exactly what is happening. But emotional pain is different. You don't pull away, you freeze. You tense around it. And the longer you tense, the more trapped you feel. Yet there is another way, a quieter way, a way that does not involve force. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to the place in your body where discomfort is strongest right now. Don't name it. Don't describe it. Just feel the raw sensation. Is it sharp or dull? Heavy or light? Moving or still? Stay curious. Curiosity is presence without fear. Now notice something subtle. The sensation exists, but around it there is space. That space is awareness. Awareness does not tense. It does not panic. It does not judge. It simply allows. And the moment you allow pain without trying to escape it, something unexpected happens. The pain begins to change. Not because you forced it to, but because all sensations are impermanent. Waves rise, waves fall. Emotions are waves. They feel overwhelming only when you believe you are the ocean being shaken. But you are not the wave. You are the depth beneath it. The deeper you rest, the calmer everything becomes. This is the art of sitting in the fire without burning. You do not suppress. You do not indulge. You witness. And witnessing is alchemy. Pain, when met with awareness, loses its edge. It transforms into warmth, into movement, into release.
This is why ancient traditions spoke of suffering as a doorway, not a punishment, but a passage. Pain strips away what is false. It removes the masks you wore to survive, the identities you built to be accepted, the walls you constructed to avoid being hurt again. And beneath all of that is something untouched, still, whole, you. Stay with the breath. Inhale, feel the body open. Exhale, feel the body soften. Let the pain rise, let it fall. Do not rush the process. Healing is not linear, it spirals. Each time you meet the pain with presence, you loosen its grip. Each time you stay, you reclaim a part of yourself. And slowly, you realize something profound. The pain was never asking you to drown in it. It was asking you to feel it fully so it could finally leave. In the next part of this journey, we will explore what happens when pain is fully seen and how clarity emerges naturally when resistance ends. For now, rest in awareness. You are doing something brave. You are staying.
There is a quiet moment, one that cannot be forced, when something inside you exhales for the first time in years. Not because the pain vanished, but because it no longer needs to prove it exists. This is what happens when pain is finally seen. Most of your life, your pain has been knocking from the inside. Not violently, patiently. And each time you ignored it, it knocked a little louder. Not to punish you, but to survive. Because emotions that are not allowed to move become prisons. And emotions that are met with awareness become messages, then memories, then freedom. When you stop fighting your pain, you discover it was never an enemy. It was a guide. Pain arrives when something essential was bypassed, a boundary crossed, a truth swallowed, a part of you abandoned to keep the peace. And the body remembers. The body is not philosophical. It does not rationalize. It speaks in sensation. Tight shoulders, a guarded chest, a shallow breath. These are not flaws. They are adaptations. Ways you learn to survive moments when being fully yourself did not feel safe. So when awareness finally meets these places, something ancient stirs. A softening, as if the body says, "You're here now. I can rest." This is not emotional release as drama. It is release as permission. You are no longer asking pain to leave. You are letting it finish speaking. Close your eyes. Bring attention back to the body. Notice what feels different than before. Maybe the sensation has moved. Maybe it has softened. Maybe it feels clearer, even if still present. Do not search for improvement. Just notice truth. Healing does not announce itself. It whispers. And in that whisper, you begin to see how much energy was spent resisting yourself. Energy that can now return to living. This is where clarity is born. Not from thinking more, but from carrying less. The mind becomes quieter, not because you silenced it, but because it no longer needs to defend you. The ego relaxes when it realizes awareness can hold what it feared. And when the ego relaxes, life opens. You respond instead of react. You listen instead of brace. You feel without drowning. This is emotional maturity, not the absence of pain, but the absence of war with it. And something even deeper begins to emerge. Compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. You see the younger versions of you who did the best they could with what they knew. You stop demanding perfection from your past. You stop punishing yourself for being human. And in that forgiveness, your nervous system learns safety. Safety is the soil where peace grows. You were never meant to be fearless.
You were meant to be present. Presence is what turns pain into wisdom. Presence is what allows grief to become love, fear to become clarity, sadness to become depth. You are not losing anything by feeling fully. You are regaining wholeness. In the final part of this journey, we will step into what it means to live from this space, where pain no longer defines you, but refines you, where peace is not something you chase, but something you recognize. Stay here for a moment. Let the stillness speak.
There comes a point in this journey when you realize something quietly revolutionary. Nothing is wrong anymore. Not because life suddenly became perfect, not because pain never returns, but because you are no longer divided inside. You have stopped standing against yourself. Emotional pain may still visit, as waves still visit the shore, but it no longer defines who you are. You have learned how to meet it, and that changes everything. Where there was once contraction, there is now curiosity. Where there was fear, there is now listening. Where there was control, there is now trust. You are no longer trying to outrun discomfort. You are walking with it, steady, grounded, awake. This is what inner peace actually is. Not a permanent state of calm, but a deep confidence in your ability to be present with whatever arises. The mind may still produce thoughts. The body may still feel sensations. Life may still bring loss, uncertainty, change, but none of it threatens your core anymore, because you have discovered the space beneath it all, the sky behind the weather, the silence beneath the sound, the awareness beneath the story. And awareness is never harmed. Sit with that truth. Feel how it lands in the body. Peace is not something you create. It is what remains when you stop resisting experience. From this place, your relationship with life softens. You listen more deeply. You react less automatically. You choose your responses with care. Not because you are controlling yourself, but because you are aligned. Even pain becomes meaningful. It points you back to presence instead of pulling you into panic. It reminds you to slow down, to check in, to come home. This is what emotional intelligence looks like from the inside. Not emotional suppression, not endless analysis, but embodied awareness. You trust your inner signals without being ruled by them. You allow emotions to move without letting them steer the entire ship. You are both the river and the river bank. Take one final breath here. Inhale, feeling the fullness of being alive. Exhale, releasing the need to be anywhere else. Notice the quiet clarity that remains. That clarity was always here. It was just waiting for the noise of resistance to fade. And now, you carry this with you into conversations, into choices, into moments of joy and moments of grief. You no longer need to fear your inner world. It is not trying to break you. It never was. It was trying to bring you back to what is real, to what is honest, to what is whole. Let this be your reminder. You are not the pain you feel. You are the awareness that feels it. And awareness is free. I allow what arises, and in allowing, I am free. Stay present, stay gentle, and trust the intelligence of your own experience.